Hi, this is Jinping G. My friends call me JP, aka an investor for all seasons. So in this video, we're going to talk about OKTA, a tech company. Someone in the Reddit thread, Fat Fire, asked me to look at it because it had, since its height in 2021 February, it's dropped, I think, more than 60%. Let me get that right. Here we go. Yeah, over 60%. So is this a good investment? First of all, I have a thread on Twitter about what is the difference between investment and speculation. And in this case, this is definitely speculation, right? This company is not worth the amount of money, whatever, 13 billion or 14 billion market cap it is now. But the idea is that it's going to grow to that level. So first of all, I guess a little bit about me. Why should you listen to me? So I'm an entrepreneur. I work in software. I work in e-commerce. I've actually worked in San Francisco. I've also worked as a management consultant. So I've done a lot of analysis about valuing companies and looking at financial reports and things like that. The tool I'm using is called FastGraphs. If you're not familiar with it, check out their YouTube channel, which has a ton of great videos on investment and also the tool itself. So back to, excuse me, OKTA. Obviously, it's not making any money. Most of these startups that are early stage are not. Analysts predict that it might make a little bit of money later. But really, it's price to sales that we're looking at. So the sales are looking like they're growing at a very fast pace. This is another site that provides some financial information. So if we plug that in, so what are we seeing? We're seeing, about 50% growth in sales. So if this keeps up and they're able to get to positive margin, this company could be very valuable, right, in 5 or 10 years. So what do they do exactly? It looks like they work with a lot of large companies. They work with FedEx and Zoom, and they provide some sort of identity solution. I'm not going to be able to look into this in detail at this point. I'm just going to say at a very kind of preliminary level whether or not this stock is worth researching more. And if we take a look at the opinions, I have a subscription to Seeking Alpha as well. You can see that the Wall Street consensus or the general opinion is actually quite good for this. And the quant, this is just based on data. It says sell, but I wouldn't trust that. Seeking Alpha authors also say it's a buy in general. And you can read all of these things if you want to get a subscription to Seeking Alpha. At this point, I think it looks like an interesting stock. Like price to sales at 8x at this level of growth is actually quite attractive. I recently invested in, let me just pull that up. Everyone knows the company Shopify, right? So if we look at Shopify, actually, let's look at Net. Shopify is a little bit different. Cloudflare is another tech darling. They're selling at price to sales of 22 as opposed to 8. So as you can see, around 20 is actually where a lot of these companies, I think Snowflake Computing is another tech company. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, Snowflake Computing is another company that, they're selling at 28 times sales, but they're also growing at an incredible pace. So for this level of growth, this is actually quite cheap. The other thing I would worry about is whether or not they would run out of money. I would probably go look at their financial statements in more detail, but here we can take a quick look with just operating cash flow. It looks like they have positive operating cash flow. You should look into the annual reports to get a more detailed kind of analysis, but that's a good sign, I think, and free cash flow is positive as well. So yeah, I think this is an interesting company to look at, definitely worthy of more research given how far it has fallen, and it looks like it is actually, excuse me, at a good price. Now, this is not financial advice. I should have said that at the beginning. I'm not giving financial advice here. It's just my opinion. Again, this is Jinping G. My friends call me JP, and also an investor for all seasons. Cheers.